Wow, Dale, we are so close to Christmas. And that only means that the NFL season is winding down. I remember during the summer, I would say the peak of the pandemic, we didn't know if there was going to be a season. And now it's flying by past us. What's up, man? How you doing?
Nervous. I'm a wreck. Monday night tonight. We'll get to that. I don't know. No Buckeyes, no Browns Saturday or Sunday, but we got Monday night.
That's always something to look forward to. So we will get into that at the end. So stick around for that. Bigger news, though. I mean, we just wrapped up week 14. I don't believe it. I don't know how. It's just really flying by. I think we really have to appreciate what we have rest of the season. Yeah. Jalen Hurts starts for the Philadelphia Eagles. I've just seen numerous articles now talking about trade destinations for Carson Wentz. They've signed into a maximum deal. What do you think?
I mean, dude, honestly, I don't think that Jalen Hurts looked that great in game one. Obviously, he got the win. He got the job done. What was he, 17 of 30 passing the ball or something like that? I mean, dude, he looked okay. Good first start for him. He obviously looked better than Wentz's look this year. But for national media, ESPN, Philly media, for wanting to run Wentz out of town already, I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't think he's been in a good situation to succeed at all this year.
I agree. We've talked about it numerous times that we were on the Carson Wentz wagon. He has his confidence shot for sure. And it was a stale offense, man. There wasn't anything going on. They were dull. There was no energy, nothing. Jalen Hurts trying to have that proverbial spark. Yeah, it did. And it was against a team without Drew Brees. Yeah, exactly.
58.5 QBR, and people are calling for him to be the next starter in Philly. Like, that's why Philly will never be more than Philly.
Good old radio outlets there.
Yeah, like Philly's just Philly. You get what you get with Philly. They're good randomly, and then they're irrelevant 90% of the time.
Yeah, so
Philly.
As we mentioned with this contract situation, though, they have to be married to him at this point. There's just way too much money and too much of a salary hit if he were to leave and be traded, because I don't know who wants to pick all that up. I mean, there's talks of possibly Indianapolis, of Denver, places that Wentz can land. Maybe the Jet. I don't know who. I think that's far-fetched, but look, it's something new. They haven't really done anything the last month or so, and the NFC East, even though that Washington got a really big win, I guess they're still in the thick of things. But
Buffalo took care of business last night in Pittsburgh. Not very surprised there. Pittsburgh Steelers, not a very good football team. Josh Allen continues to look good. Will, were you surprised at that?
No, I'm not. Josh Allen cooled off for about a month or so after Halloween. Everyone said, "Oh, it was too early." I think a big credit has to go to Stephon Diggs. He has 100 receptions now. He's leading the league. I don't think anyone, unless you're like a hardcore fan, would know that. Josh Allen's legit. Now, the MVP talks, pump the brakes on that. I don't think it's going to go to him. But given the situation that they're in, no fans too. Can you imagine if Bills Mafia was allowed at the stadium right now? I think they'd be part of the stadium that they would have to reconstruct it because there would be so many things that were broken because they were so excited. Super happy for the fan base. I think this is more on the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. In the last 2 months, not two games, last 2 months, they are averaging less than 60 yards rushing a game. That is not a recipe for success. Following an older Roethlisberger after surgery. And what happened to this great defense? I understand that injuries hit them really bad. TJ Watt probably not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Good for Buffalo. They're going to win the AFC East, snaps the Patriots streak. I think this is more on Pittsburgh, though.
Okay. See, I still think that TJ Watt's going to get DPOY. I think he's been dominant this year in any way you look at it.
Aaron Donald, no way, man. No way.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look at TJ Watt's numbers. I think he leads the league in sacks, tackles for losses, QB pressures, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. Like, there's 6 or 7 categories he's leading the league in. And that kills me to say because I don't want to support the Steelers at all. The recipe of success, though, they don't have one. They throw the ball way too much. The running game is non-existent. Big Ben is at the back end of his career, and they're trying to put everything on his shoulders right now. Just looking from an outside view, I feel bad for that team because they looked way better 2 months ago. They have 3 more weeks to figure it out. 3 more weeks to figure it out. They have some tough games. They still play the Colts and they still play the Browns. So they have pretty tough games. They're currently a game up on the AFC North. The Browns are a game back, and the Ravens are 2 games back. So if the Steelers hit a skid here, they could be risking the division at this point.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll get into Kansas City in just a second, but I would almost think that they've surrendered that number 1 seed, the first round bye to Kansas City. Wow. I think that might've been the most 2020 thing you said. A week 17 matchup with the Browns is actually significant to the Steelers. That's crazy. Another quick thing too, their receiving core. I don't know why they can't catch the ball. I understand there's inclement weather, but that's why they're getting paid to be on the field. That's why those guys are on the field, and Tomlin makes those decisions on who can play on the roster, and they can't catch a ball. And it's not like Ben Roethlisberger is throwing like 100 miles an hour. And he is taking
he's giving them balls.
Yeah, he's taking it off for them to catch. And they can't do it. Deontay Johnson, what are you doing? The big stretch for the Steelers. Who knows? Maybe they peaked too early. Was it a week 11-0 team at one point before they lost to Washington? Now Buffalo. We'll see with that. As I mentioned with Kansas City, though, they're unreal. The Dolphins, because, man, talk about a giant tease. That's almost like, the girl is, you have her at the bar. She's like feeding into everything that you're doing. And then she's like, oh, no, I got to go. Same thing with the Dolphins. They were up and forced it. When was the last time that you could remember that Mahomes threw 3 picks? Maybe the Monday night game against the Rams a couple years ago where it was like 199.
I haven't seen Mahomes play this bad in a long time against a good team and against a really good defense, and they still won the game.
I think that's the next step that they
take.
He is.
Yeah,
it's
just
crazy
how good they are. You have to play a perfect 60 minutes of football and somehow not let Patrick Mahomes play a perfect 60 minutes of football, or you're not winning the game. That's just all it comes down to. You're not beating them unless you are perfect for 60 minutes.
For him to throw 3 picks and they capitalize on 2 of those, it just goes to show, I think, Tua Tagovailoa's growth, not having a proper offseason and being thrusted into a position where there was no training camp, there was no preseason games. I think someone on the telecast said, look, it's a good point. This is basically like his 6th game. If you were to count the 4 preseason games. But enough about the Dolphins. Look, they had their lead. I like what Flores is doing. They still are a potential wild card team. But for the Chiefs to spot teams 10 plus, leads now. Crazy. For them, that's insane. Any other team, you're like, fuck, dude. Like, we're down 2 scores. They can score at will. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. It's unreal. The only reason why I bring this up really fast.
Better than most teams 1 and 2.
It's insane.
Nicole Hardman and Sammy Watkins is a wet dream for a team like the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a whole separate story because they're on some of my fantasy. I'm not going to get into that before I get mad. The Green Bay Packers, though, had a fantastic game, not to jump all over the place. But the reason I do that, you had the Packers that have clinched a number 1 seed now. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, right now. Who's your MVP?
I'm going Mahomie, dude. I am. Mahomie. He's thrown 3 picks on the year.
I think he's thrown 5 now. But going into the game,
he only had 1 going into the game.
I think he had 2. But overall,
still, he doesn't.
Look at his weapons, though. I think I'm going to go Rodgers just because he has way less. Outside of Devontae Adams, unless you're like a hardcore fan, I don't think anyone can list any other receiver or the backs that Rodgers is throwing to. And for them to be at the number 1 seed, look.
Who would you rather have, Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams?
If we're being impulsive right now and we just have to make it right now, I guess Tyreek Hill. But with the model of consistency down the road, I think I want to take Devontae Adams. So, it's a tough matchup. Either one, they're doing really well in fantasy for you. But I just think with the less weapons that the Packers have, it must be nice.
Dude, my 10-team league.
Devontae Adams won.
Yeah, I know. I made the championship in my 10-team league for work, and I have somehow the draft let me get Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill. I didn't trade for any of them. Those are my first 3 picks.
Well, it looks like Dale is playing in the school for the deaf and blind. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, it's a $900 winnings too. It's like a big money league. These guys were crazy. So many running backs went.
I'll take that.
But, all right, so you have Rodgers. I have Mahomes. We'll keep an eye on the MVP race. 3 weeks left. Something that I'm probably going to keep an eye on until I can't keep an eye on it anymore due to misery. Cleveland Indians New York Times report said that we're changing the name. We will no longer be known as the Cleveland Indians. We've had 105 years of that. And of course, leave it up to Jim fucking Dolan to get rid of the name. I mean, I am so done with the Dolan family. I don't even know what to say at this point. I've just lost all hope. I mean, it's like every bit of care that I had for the Indians just got ripped out of my soul this morning. I know we're losing Lindor. We lost the name. Until we lose Dolan, I don't think I have any cares left to give.
Well, at least Shane Bieber got the Cy Young Award. Look, here's the thing with the Indians. Look, are they taking a page out of what the football team did? I'm still getting used to saying that. The Washington football team.
No idea.
I understand where it was coming from, and everyone's all about the cancel culture or whatever. I mean, for me and you growing up, the Chief Wahoo has been synonymous with the logo, right? And then they made that move earlier this year. You know, not Dan Snyder, Jim Dolan saying, "Oh, we're going to go to the C block logo that you have." I think you have that hat actually. Look, 100 years, that's a long time. Everyone wants to call it the Spiders.
No.
Some want to, I mean, at one point they were called the Naps. They were, I think they've had multiple names in the last, over century.
I hate them all. We're the Cleveland Indians. We're going to be the Cleveland Indians until I die. Like, I mean, dude, I bought a bunch of Wahoo gear because I won't wear anything else. Like, I won't buy another piece of merchandise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get it. There's just a lot of public backlash on the Chief Wahoo
but there's
logo.
Not. There's a group of backlash. Like, there's a small group who's making their voice louder than the majority, which is crazy to me. Like, it's not disrespectful. It's not like we're singling out a group. Like, it has literally been out of a sign of respect for 105 years. We changed the name to it because of an Indian player that we wanted to respect and like honor. We changed from the Spiders to the Indians for that reason. And now all of a sudden it's a racist name. Like, honestly, just get the fuck out. I'll take this argument with anybody, anytime, anywhere. I'm not here for it. I'm just not.
Dale's Buckeyes didn't play this weekend. He's waiting for a primetime game with the Browns, and now his baseball team is changing their name. I'll wait to see.
It's been a rough weekend. I had to take my roommate.
We haven't heard APR from the Indians themselves. This is a reported topic that was sent out. Who was it? The New York Times. Then Jeff Passan of ESPN confirmed it. I don't know what's going to be. I'm not sure.
We'll see. It's a story. Another story. Basketball is back, William. We had
already
preseason start. Yeah, last night we had some Clippers-Lakers action. The Lakers bench did some work against the Clippers. Some big news. James Harden still wants to be traded despite John Wall coming into camp and looking solid. Does this surprise you? Are you here for a James Harden trade? Because I definitely am.
I think I would. I think the NBA has done an absolutely phenomenal job of trying to revolve the game around their players as opposed to the organization. They haven't done it any better. And I really feel that when LeBron went to the Heat about a decade ago now, he's really spearheaded that. And that's where the league is headed towards. Now, again, this always has to come down to money. It always comes down to numbers. Who is going to take that giant hit on James Harden's contract? I think at this point, we know he wants to be a shooting guard. He wants to be the guy that's taking that shot. Can he be the true point? I always thought it would be an interesting backcourt between Wall and Harden, but you have Russell Westbrook going to the Wizards. I don't know where he's going to go. Is he going to go to the Nets? Is he going to go to the Bucks? I'm not really sure. I'm all for it though, because if there's any type of drama, if there's any type of just unquestionable chemistry inside of an NBA locker room, they are the best team to do it.
Do you know what I really want to happen in this situation?
Yeah.
And this is just me being petty as fuck.
Of course. What's new?
I want him to get traded to Brooklyn, and I want Kyrie to have to go back to Houston. I want that trade to happen so bad. Like, I want Kyrie to be miserable the rest of his NBA career.
Okay, so let's pivot to that now. So you have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. In almost 600 days, he made his first appearance in an NBA uniform on an NBA court since the 2019 finals when he had his Achilles tendon ruptured on national television. Look good. No surprise, right? Almost 2 years now that he hasn't played. The calf or the tendon looks Achilles. Pretty good.
Yeah, we were seeing reports and seeing stuff saying that we thought that he would look good. So it's nice to see him out there looking like KD.
For sure. Great for basketball. Still is going to have some questionable quotes that I'm looking forward to. You mentioned Kyrie, though. Okay, over the weekend, I'll have to find the clip, or the social media teams have to find the clip. They decided to go on Instagram Live, and you know how me and you have done it before, where you can share the screen, you kind of have banter, you go back and forth.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell Kyrie Irving is on, saying that the media are pawns. So me and you are pawns, which whatever.
It is what it is.
He doesn't want to talk to media. I understand that. No one really does. I've been in a press conference room with professional athletes and college athletes. It's kind of like hard on both sides. If you're the athlete, you don't want to talk to the media. And then if you're the media, you want to have the confidence to actually ask the question you want to hear for the public to want to read and consume. Well, he's saying that he's okay with the fines. I think, what was it, $25,000 that he's going to have to give to a charity, which the NBA decides to do with that money, those fines money, for not speaking to the media. Who is that on, Kyrie? Really? Who is that on? Because you try to play this victim card all the time, and I'm trying so hard. At one point in that Instagram exchange, Dale, he sounded like Kanye West. Like, that's just what it kind of like struck me as. I was like, he was sitting like in a yoga position, like to where the phone, he looked like the high school, like
it was weird
girl that's talking to her friends that puts the phone down. It's like up at an angle. And then you had Kevin Durant kind of going back and forth. I was like, what are you doing? And it
was weird. Some of the basketball philosophy they were talking about and some of the post ups and stuff. And Kyrie's saying that he literally doesn't think there's a single person that can guard him one-on-one in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was just weird conversation.
Are you here for it though? Are you here for it? Because I am.
I'm here for Kyrie's misery.
You're saying this with bias aside just because he played for your team and delivered his title.
Yeah, like I'm here for Kyrie to be miserable. That's the conclusion that I've come down to in this. I just want him to be miserable.
I just cannot wait. Look, the NBA season starts December 22nd already. Dale, we were just in the bubble. I'm going to miss the bubble. I'm going to miss the cafeteria food that they had. I'm going to miss all the antics. I'm going to miss Lou Williams going to the strip club, or I can't remember the guy. I think it was the Wizards or someone that left the bubble like 4 steps to grab his Uber Eats order and went back into the bubble and had to sit out for 10 days. I'm going to miss that. But with the Nets, can Harden go there? I don't know. I think that would be amazing.
One last thing on
Too many assets with it though.
So I read an article this weekend. Jason Lloyd of The Athletic, Cleveland reporter, wrote an article about Kyrie Irving. And in the article, and pretty much said that Jason Lloyd followed Kyrie from the day one he was drafted in Cleveland all the way up until the day he left. He was saying how when Kyrie was younger, he was always so uncomfortable around the media because he's just a kid trying to change and get like dressed after a game, and there's media hounding him. And he's 19 years old, standing in front of his locker naked, and he hated that kind of stuff. But like Jason Lloyd said, there's 2 ways to play the media if you're a professional athlete. You either control the narrative or the narrative controls you. And Kyrie, by refusing to talk to people, by refusing to talk to reporters, by refusing to form relationships with anybody who puts a story out, he's just taking that away from him. Like he said, LeBron was the first person to always go find reporters. LeBron has relationships with reporters. LeBron's agents have relationships with reporters. So whatever LeBron wants to put out there gets out there because of how LeBron treats the media. Kyrie gets mad about that, but also Kyrie doesn't do anything about it. Kyrie just lets it happen to himself. So until he takes control of his career and starts putting narratives out there that he wants to be out there, this is just how Kyrie's going to be personally. I mean, this is how
that's a great point. Yes, I totally agree that he somehow makes it seem like he's victimized by them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this, in an NBA contract, as much as these pro athletes don't want to abide by it, you have to talk to the media. Like that's in writing in the contract. When you sign your name on the dotted line and get millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, you have to make time, which I don't think it's that hard to say a 15-second response to the media for someone to spin it and write an article, like you said, develop the relationship, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't. And then he has to
take the Marshawn Lynch approach. I'm here so I won't get fined.
And then look, that's a perfect example, Dale. You control your own destiny with the media. You control your own headlines by being funny. And he never did that. And
never.
Even now, you said at 19, yes, he's still a kid trying to find himself. Look, he's almost 30 years old. He still can't figure it out. I cannot wait for Nets basketball. Dale, wrapping up today, you're wearing the jersey right now. Cleveland Browns, probably the most important season in almost 30 years, playing the Baltimore Ravens. Can you get over the hump? What do you got tonight?
I'm nervous. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous. I'm rocking Odell in good spirits. I wish he was out there with us.
He's probably gambling at a casino right now with his boot on him. Yep, after therapy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we have the Ravens at home tonight. This is huge. Baker Mayfield, I think, took a little step forward last week against the Titans, but Consistency is what we're looking for here. That's the word. That's the theme that I'm going with. Consistency. Will Baker be consistent throughout the rest of the season? Tonight's a huge first step to find out. We'll see. We are +3 at home, so that's actually crazy that we're +3. That means we'd be -6 in Baltimore right now. The over-under set at 46. I'm going to take the Browns +3 at home. I'm staying away from the over-under tonight, but I think that we take care of business. I think the defense shows up, and I think Baker continues his role. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to have big nights. I think they're both going to get 1,000 yards on the year. Our whole offensive line's playing. The only injury that we really have on the offense is Austin Hooper. Defensively, Denzel Ward's not going to be playing, but good thing for us, the Baltimore Ravens do not have a ton of success throwing the football currently. So if we can keep the running game under control, I think the Browns can come out with a win tonight. What do you have?
As Jim Rome says, the newly anointed America's team. I think you're going to be upset with me. I really, really like the win that the Browns pulled off last week against Jacksonville. They fell asleep behind the wheel in the second half, but I think that naturally comes when you're that far ahead in the first half. But look, good teams can still find ways to finish.
We're okay.
Oh God, the thing with the Ravens, it's just been so between COVID, between the regression that Lamar Jackson has had following the MVP season, between some of the bigger name players on their defense, whether they can't
Before
play
you
because
make your pick, the Browns are 8-0 in one possession games this year.
Oh, big names on the defensive side for the Ravens not playing. Oh, man. If Cleveland wins this game, it's the biggest step, I think, next to the Steelers that they're going to have to do close to New Year's.
Yeah.
I think I might go with the Ravens. I think I'm going to do it
All right.
just to get you going, to ruffle your feathers a little bit. But look, if the Browns win, America's team, big win. Give me the Ravens tonight, though. With the points.
Ravens tonight. I love it. Pray for Jerry Jones. Dallas is no longer America's team. Like Will says, it is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
guys, huge night for me. Huge night for all of Cleveland. Give us a follow, WTM Daily, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Apple, Spotify. William, have yourself a day. I am going to be a nervous wreck until kickoff. See you guys tomorrow.
Dale, good luck tonight. Don't try to pull out whatever little hair you have on your head between your Browns. It's just a game. But if they win, huge step. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Pull out what little hair I have on my head.